Hello there everybody, welcome to What Culture Football News, the new show about football by What Culture. I'm of course Adam Cleary, joined by the indomitable Adam Nicholas. We have many stories coming up for you today, including but not limited to...
Gareth Bale's move to China is off.
Liverpool are having what is in pre-season known as a bit of a shocker.
Neymar will play no minutes for PSG in pre-season.
But first, to North London, where I read this headline over the weekend and I thought, you know what? Good bit of business that, because he's experienced, he fixes a key area at the back for them, and they've only got Socrates and Mustafi. Arsenal are signing Pepe.
Solid.
Not that Pepe.
Not that Pepe.
You know, I discovered when I actually read this story. Yeah. It's not the can't say that he's a crap house. That's what we like to call him.
Portuguese lunatic.
No, he's not. Not that Pepe. It's the winger from Lille.
Oh goodness me.
Yeah, and bit of a weird one this. Arsenal have a 45 million transfer budget this summer.
Okay.
Which has sort of restricted them in getting Zaha. It means they're having to bid quite conservatively for Kieran Tierney, but they're getting him for the bargain low price of £72 million. And that's quite an odd one, that, because...
I'm not good at maths, Adam Cleary.
Well, neither are Arsenal, but so, yeah, 72 million is the purported fee. It would make him the third most expensive player in Premier League history. And it's a bit out of nowhere, this one, because obviously, as has been reported quite a lot this summer, Arsenal went to Crystal Palace with a £40 million bid for Zaha. They were told, won't cut it.
No.
This isn't 2009. That's not how much these expensive players go for anymore. So they've gone home and they've had a think and gone, who else could we get? We could get Pepe from Lille. What's he going for?
Yeah.
Nearly double that. And they've
so weird.
Apparently they're able to afford it. Sky Sports did a bit of digging. Sky Sports have said apparently they've been told that it merely suits Arsenal that people think they only have a 45 million budget, because when they get into negotiations over a player, the selling club is going to think Arsenal don't have much money. What they've been told is that it's a bit of a smokescreen, this 45 million quid. They just have to take it with a pinch of salt, and they are one of the biggest clubs in the world. And fair play? They done a blinder there?
I guess a blinder. Maybe it's got something to do with the fact that it's another London club and they don't want to give them the money, maybe?
There is, of course, a Premier League premium. There's the English player premium.
Course.
But, of course, on the other side of it, you can see what Arsenal might not want to give Crystal Palace. I can't see them believing that Palace would compete with them this season.
Well, I think it's just more their... We've all seen Arsenal TV, Adam Cleary. And can you imagine how angry the Arsenal fans are going to get if they're spending loads of money on a player who's from another London club, who could end up coming... We've seen Zaha at big clubs before. It didn't work out for him at Man United. There's no guarantee it would work out for him at Arsenal either.
Well, Pepe's still an unknown quantity for Arsenal.
This is true.
He's unproven in this league. But apparently one of the main factors is that Lille are willing to take the 72 million in big instalments.
Yeah.
Whereas Palace were like, no, money, please, all of it now. Now, interesting Safi here.
I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this a lot.
He was the only player in Europe's top 5 leagues to have 100 or more shots, 100 or more take-ons, and win 100 or more fouls.
Is he just, that's his gimmick is, the 100 or more man?
Jink, run, and either shoot or get brought down.
Very good.
It's quite interesting. Now, I did sort of front load this with this statement.
Okay.
If you're Arsenal, you've got Aubameyang, you've got Lacazette, you've spent money at the top end of the field this summer already, you've still got Socrates and Mustafi at the back, and you're only really looking to add Kieran Tierney beyond this at left back. It's not... Would you not go for a centre-back?
I'd be looking for
a
centre-half, I think. Interesting that they've chosen to bolster the attack, which is arguably an area maybe that
They were scoring plenty of goals.
It took Lacazette and Aubameyang a little while to kind of get on the same page, but once they did, those two were unstoppable.
It's a bit of an odd one for me.
Very odd.
For me, that one, especially when the sort of 70 million mark can get you a Van Dijk figure.
Well, exactly. I mean, just the figure of him.
A Harry Maguire.
Just a Van Dijk figure.
To be fair, I'd rather have a little collectible, posable toy of
a little power pod of Virgil van Dijk as opposed to what the defence have currently got. Fantastic. Well, they're looking for another winger. Speaking of other wingers, Adam Cleary, Gareth Bale, we all were told he was reportedly moving to China in a big money move for him at least, to Jiangsu Suning. I'm glad I nailed it. Get in. Didn't even have to look at the notes there. I've been saying it in my head for the last 15 minutes. Well, apparently that's off. Apparently Real Madrid have...
You learned it for nothing.
I know, complete waste of time. Apparently Real Madrid have kiboshed this completely because F you, Gareth Bale, apparently. He was set to go over there and play for Jiangsu Suning. Gonna give it again. They were going to pay him £1 million a week, reportedly.
What?
Yeah. That was going to be 1 million a week. He was going to be earning.
Definitely pounds.
Definitely
Not
pounds.
yen.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that wouldn't work out so well for him actually if it was yen.
The current exchange.
Yeah, no, listen, if it says it on the computer, it must be true. If it's on all the websites, £1 million a week, so he's going to earn an absolute bank, and unfortunately, he's not earning any of that now because Real Madrid, for whatever reason, have decided he's not going. Adam Cleary, what on it? Because it was going to be a 3-year deal as well. Imagine the money he'd be making there.
It's baffling that because he's 30 now. So
yes, 30
That would have been his. That would have been his nest egg.
Big payday.
It's a bit of an odd one. The Bale Real Madrid thing's probably going to rumble on all summer because obviously Zidane's come out and said that it would be better for everyone if he just left. He's not going to play anymore. Yep. He could be a cult hero there, but he's really struggled to ingratiate himself with the fans. They never really seem to take to him. Time there was definitely up. Now I know when we did the original story about Zidane's quote, blah blah blah, it was very disrespectful. Yeah. I think maybe there was a little bit lost in the translation there. I think he's just sort of laying out, the fact of the matter.
Journalism, confusing the facts.
His time at the club's up. It's probably best for everybody if it's resolved quickly, which is a fact. But it's just an odd one. This, if he's looking for £1 million a week, that pretty much rules out him going back to the Premier League because you can't see a Man City buying him, you can't see a Liverpool buying him, you can't see anyone else being able to afford him.
At 30 years of age, he's a gamble, isn't he?
Especially with he's got a couple of fitness issues.
You're looking at younger players who can play the same position, who are arguably playing better football, who are playing more football at the minute than he is. I'm not sure he's going to find that big. He's certainly not going to find the 1 million a week move that he's looking for. I think that's why it's so high, isn't it? He's off to China to give away the rest of his football career. It's a high price.
It's a shame because he obviously still got a lot to offer. I've seen him a couple of times in La Liga this season. He's still an excellent, exciting footballer. I'd love to see him back in the Premier League, but realistically, what's it going to take?
It's going to be pricey.
Putting his wages right down and going back to Spurs, maybe, which I think would be a great move for both parties.
I think if he's got to evaluate whether he wants to play football or not anymore, basically is the situation there because if he gets motivated, we saw Ronaldo when he hit 30, started to strike and he was playing. So why not have it happen with Gareth Bale as well?
It'd be great, but again, I don't understand that from the Real Madrid side.
No, absolutely not.
If they want rid of him, they can offload him. If they're the ones that are saying he can't go to China.
I wonder if more about this is going to unfold perhaps as the days go on, especially considering Zidane actually said it would be better for everyone if he left.
I suspect it will, Adam Nicholas. Stay tuned to What Culture Football to find out more. Speaking of What Culture Football, we're What Culture Football, and our next story,
nailed it.
Link.
Absolutely nailed it.
You've been keeping up with Liverpool this pre-season?
I haven't. No.
Probably for the best, really, because they're having a bit of a nightmare. Now, they started off their games. They beat Tranmere and I think maybe Preston. Had a couple of local games.
High class.
Another one. It's fine. You'll get the season off to a start. But since then, they've been involved in this big tournament across the world against teams of similar, if not lower stature to themselves. And the results... I thought you
were saying than Tranmere and Preston there.
The results went as follows. They got beat 3-2 off Borussia Dortmund.
Right.
Then they got beat 2-1 off Sevilla. Who had, remember the Sevilla game? They got kicked 10
They got kicked all over.
Sevilla were down to 10 men.
Yes,
still
they were.
Them, which was quite an odd one. Then they drew with Sporting.
Again, off in a friendly, by the way.
And then, over the weekend, they got beat 3-0 off Napoli.
Oh, no.
Now, Liverpool fans will tell you this is a good reason for this because all their major players have been involved over the summer. They're very bare-bones sort of squad at the minute, but that in itself, you would say, is cause for concern because Alisson and Firmino have just got back today from the Copa America.
Of course, yeah.
They were in that with Brazil. Salah was obviously in the AFCON with Egypt. He is back today as well. Mane isn't back until after the Community Shield, so long with Senegal's run in this tournament. That's
a lot of players.
That's really bad. They've been down to the bare bones all of pre-season.
And you could say that's
knackered.
Aside from maybe Van Dijk on top of that, you're looking at the core of your team there, essentially.
Entire core of your team, entire spine of your team. Yeah. Keita and Naby Keita and Fabinho, they've also been away as well over the summer. So the vast majority of the squad haven't had a rest. And add to the fact that they've not added to this. They've spent $1 million.
I was going to say, interesting that they haven't really added. They spent a lot of money last season, I think it's fair to say.
You could imagine that's it being moved up, but they've only spent, they offloaded Danny Ings for 18 million. They got rid of that Camacho lad for 5. Yeah. They've only spent $1 million this summer.
Interesting.
I can understand the logic of maybe from a business sense. They moved the Van Dijk and the Alisson transfers up. They spent big last summer, but knowing that so many of their squad are going to be away this year, not going to be getting a proper rest, not adding to the squad. I was speaking to you, and he's our resident Liverpool fan. He says the talk amongst Liverpool fans is that they are biding their time. They're going to be making more big moves in the next transfer window, the next summer transfer window. But again, coinciding with these tournaments and most of their players missing an entire break, missing their entire summers, You've got to say right now it looks really unlikely that they could do anything this season.
It's worrying, but I guess we've seen it before, haven't we? We saw, I mean, this isn't a fantastic example, but it's a close that I think off the top of my head. Tottenham not buying players and then, or certainly not splashing out millions and millions on players. Keeping their main aim was to keep that squad together, and keeping the likes of Harry Kane and Dele Alli, etc., all paid off dividends, I think it's fair to say. Liverpool's squad last season was incredible. Excellent. They played fantastic football. They did just about everything right, apart from what was.
Well, you finish on 97. You finish on 97
and you don't
points,
win the league.
You know
I mean, you can't. They might struggle to have a better season than that. Full stop. To be fair, but keeping that same team together is almost like winning the transfer window, in my opinion. If you can keep the majority of it together.
Very true, but I think if you look at, obviously, all they can do next season is try and finish above City. That's got to be their only aspiration. City have gone out and they've spent 60 odd million on Rodri to sort of bolster the squad. They've kept their squad together. They've not really gone out and made big moves, but again, they've not had all of their big players away this summer. Aguero's obviously the main one, him and Gabriel Jesus, but then your Mané, your Sterling, they've all had the summer off. The core of their squad has had the summer off and they've expanded it, whereas Liverpool have not only had all their big players away, but they've got the Club World Cup in December. Course, yeah. They've got the Community Shield coming up this weekend. They've got the Super Cup in Turkey the weekend after that. They're going away in December for the FIFA Club World Cup, which is in Qatar.
Oh, you see, now that's a gift or a curse, isn't it?
I know.
This is like when you see teams who shouldn't really have got into European places, having to play European football, they get stretched beyond their means. That's a lot of competitions for Liverpool to be part of.
Again, City aren't going to be playing in any of those.
None of them.
So
absolutely none of them.
It's going to be a bit of a nightmare for them.
Well,
really.
I guess, would you think they need to add anyone massively? If there was an area you had to focus on?
Depth. I think depth. So. I mean, you look, they've lost your man Moreno at left back, so that's James Milner can either play there or centre midfield. Just bodies, I would have said.
Yeah.
Because if you
in case of injuries, etc.
If you look at Man City's run in the second half of that season, they only lost to Rafa Benitez's Newcastle United. They've won every other game. Any point Liverpool lose, they've got to literally be aiming for 100 points this season to try and win.
I know. That's the bizarre reality of it.
Crazy.
And almost essentially don't lose, I guess.
Yeah, don't lose a game.
Lost for yesterday. They only lost one match last season. That's
only
mad.
Lost the last 4 in pre-season they failed to win, which is kind of crazy.
Which tells you probably the full story there.
Yep.
Maybe they've run out of steam, who knows. Someone who has run out of steam at his current club and is looking to get away is your boy Neymar. And apparently...
the latest Neymar patter.
The latest Neymar patter is that apparently he will not be playing any minutes of pre-season football for Paris Saint-Germain this season. Yes.
Why not, Adam Nicholas?
Not ideal. Well, essentially, Adam, clearly, 1, he doesn't want to be there, I guess is the main thing. 2, it does also sound like because obviously he was away also at the Copa, so he essentially needs to get back to full fitness, the level of fitness the PSG wants. So this isn't quite as maybe damning as you might think. L'Equipe were reporting this, basically saying that he wouldn't feature, but a bunch of the rest of the squad they're currently on their Asia tour. They're playing, I think they're playing Sydney or they had played Sydney, or going to be playing Sydney, and he won't feature in that match. Both he and Kimpembe are both staying at their training camp to basically pursue their fitness, because obviously they've both not really had much of a rest recently. So it's not necessarily about him being a bit of a diva, although... Well,
as Andy Murray's famously said on all these news videos, Neymar is a patless fanny, so it could have something to do with that, maybe.
That might be the translation, the actual translation for Neymar.
Bit of an odd one. He's another one on this merry-go-round with your Bales and your Pogbas, and you can see a movement in one sort of reflecting a movement in the other. I think he's desperate to go back to a higher level of competition. I think maybe going to PSG, we thought was an easy couple of years, big payday, score a load of goals, win the Champions League, obviously, but it's not quite really working out on the big stage.
I think he thought he was going to be the top boy as well, didn't he? And obviously
Mbappe's come in and been absolutely exceptional.
And it keeps happening to him at these clubs. And I feel like if he's wanting that, then he's going to have to maybe drop down the tiers, because you're always going to get a young guy like Mbappe or somebody who's going to come along as perhaps not the expected guy to take the lead and be the complete star.
Maybe the groundwork's there for him at Real Madrid at the minute. Obviously Ronaldo's gone, Bale could be going. He could be the man at Real Madrid for a couple of seasons.
I mean, there's talk. That was talk. I read the headlines that he would go to Barcelona and bow down to Lionel Messi.
Well,
do you think he would do that? Would you want
to? You could go there and be more of the heir to the throne, really, because.
But would he though?
Messi's got a couple of years on him.
I reckon he's still got more than a couple. He's one of them.
Strikes is one of them absolute freaks who just adapt.
He's going to be there. He's sitting there till he's 40 years old, playing the best football of his career.
Kiss the ring. He's going to have to go to Barcelona and just kiss the ring.
Neymar's going to be sitting there waiting, like bloody Prince Charles, waiting for the throne. Not going to happen, mate. Not going to happen.
Messi will never die.
He will never die. Yeah. So I mean, that's about as much as I've got it. you want a little
What do you
question?
think's going to happen? Just quickly go in your head. What do you think?
About Neymar?
Yeah.
I imagine he'll leave. Eventually, I think he'll find himself a move. Where he goes to, who's going to be able to pay the money for him, and if it's going to make him happy. Maybe he's just on a pursuit. Newcastle are looking for players.
West Ham, I reckon West Ham. It's got It's got Golden Sullivan written all over it, hasn't it?
Well, actually, it has.
It's got Golden Sullivan written all over it. Normally, this is like the stage in the show where we like to draw to your Twitter questions. However, this is Monday morning. It's been quite dry over the weekend. Not been a lot happening in football. No. In fairness, all the questions we do have feel a bit Friday.
Friday.
So if you'd like to submit some questions for tomorrow's news video, you can get them into us at What Culture FC. But in the meantime, we're just two unproblematic friends. We're going to ask each other a question, which we annoyingly have not forewarned each other about at all.
That's true. I was thinking about
this.
This was, well, I've tried to keep this easy, so I wanted to give you something you definitely know the answer to.
Okay.
It's new season time.
Yes.
What comes with new season comes new football kits, doesn't it?
Imagine if we've asked each other the same question.
I hope we haven't. I'm trying to steer away from, not new kits is what I was going to ask you about. There's a lot of new kits kicking around. Okay. However, I have recently been on a bit of a splurge and been looking at older kits. Just got myself the Italy 2002 World Cup kit. Oh, delicious. But my question to you, Adam Cleary, subjective of course, and I won't hold you to it for the rest of your life, but right now, in this exact moment, what is your favourite old kit from the past that you love in your heart so very dearly?
Oh.
Now, I know this is a difficult one because there's a lot out there, and again, I will say this is right now. Just go with your gut reaction. Doesn't have to be held.
Genuinely, and this is probably Sidgwick's fault. He's been rocking about in that absolutely classic,
delicious
Netherlands, the 80s.
It's
the one with the geometric.
You know
pattern.
the one.
You know the one. That is absolutely lovely. I always loved the Germany one with the pattern on the front from about the same era. Old Adidas kits, effectively. I always used to say the maroon and blue. Hoop Newcastle away top from '96. But obviously, we redid that this season, and now it's kind of took the shine off it a bit because it's kind of had a remake. Yeah, really old Adidas stuff.
Really old Adidas kits, fair enough.
My question's nothing like that.
Okay, good.
Are there any surprise packages you could see this season for getting drawn into the Premier League relegation scrap? Who do you think's not done enough this season?
That is an interesting one.
Because obviously, the three promoter clubs are always in the equation.
Yes.
Newcastle have gone backwards quite considerably. They're in the talk.
That's not a surprise,
anybody
I don't
you could see getting sucked in?
Ooh, that made me laugh, man. Oi, oi. I don't know, you know. Because this is one of them where, like last season, who was your surprise package last season, would you say, who ended up hitting in the drop?
I don't know. Ooh. There wasn't really that. Southampton, I think, they got sort of drawn right down into it, and then, but they didn't feel surprising because they looked so far gone.
I tell you what, I'll pitch this one because it's the flip reverse of what I actually think, but it could happen.
Okay.
So I strongly believe that Leicester have done enough this season, getting a good manager, getting good players, and putting all together that they're going to go forward in the league. Genuinely, but we saw other clubs last year do the exact same thing, and the pieces didn't fit, and things just didn't quite work out. So shock or a surprise, I'm sorry, Leicester fans. Just off the top of my head, I might say Leicester as a devil's advocate. What about you?
I could see Crystal Palace.
Palace, yeah.
Because I think they were very reliant on one very particular style of player last season. I think if Zaha goes, they could be in a bit of trouble if they don't reinvest the money wisely. But even if his head just gets turned a bit and they can't rely on him quite as much,
and he's not delivering the goods as much.
Yeah, I could see that.
Interesting.
That's it.
That was the question.
That's today's football news. Thank you for your question.
You are welcome. Did you enjoy it?
I did. It was actually really nice one. I like that. Good. Get your questions in for us tomorrow at What Culture FC. You can get me on Twitter at It's Adam Nicholas, and you get him on Twitter
at Adam Cleary, Clery.
Yeah, that's good. That was a complete mistake on my part. I thought it was you. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching today. That's been all the news stories. You can catch us all on Twitter, as I keep saying, at What Culture FC. Questions in for tomorrow, please. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about What Culture Football, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Fußball.